Good morning, everyone. My name is Priyanshi Prasad, and I'm a member of Team UI UX. Today, I'm going to be providing you a hands on experience on how to make a slightly complex mobile UI with a number of elements. We're going to be designing a profile page of an app. So, yeah, let's get right into it. First, we're going to make a new design file. And next, we're going to choose our frame, which in this case, let's take it as iPhone 13 and 14. Yeah. And then we'll give it a background color. Let's take the background color as a slightly deep blue one. Yeah. And I'll rename the page as profile. Uh-huh. Next, we're going to be making a rectangle on the top. So yeah, let's use the rectangular tool. Yeah. And let's take the color as 001B3. Yeah. Next, we'll add the title over here around. Let's write profile. Yeah. And then we'll put auto width and auto height to it. We'll change the font style. Let's change it to uh, Roboto. Yeah. And then we'll change the font size to 16. Wait, yeah, 16. See width. Make it auto width. And then we'll center align it. Yeah. So next we are going to be adding an icon beside of profile so that for that we're going to be using a plugin called Iconify. So let's go to plugins and widgets and we'll search Iconify over here. Yeah. So this is a very popular open source plugin for finding icons and it's very useful in making apps and stuff. So we're going to be searching for a back arrow. So yeah, let's take let's just take a simple back arrow over here. And we can choose the color as well as size from it. So I'll take the color 0560 FA. Yeah. And we'll import it as a frame. When we import it as a component, it can be used in prototyping. But for now, we're just designing it simply. So we'll import it as a frame. So yeah, it has been imported to the file. So let's bring it on top. Yeah, I guess the color didn't come. Yeah, that's fine. We can change the color from over here too. We'll add 0560 FA. Yeah. And this end profile is supposed to be on the same level. So we'll get it on the same level. These orange lines usually come to indicate the level when both of them are on the same level. And yeah, and now we'll make this into a group. So making groups over here, there's group selection. So yeah, making groups usually helps a lot later on in assessing the yeah, rectangle goes on the bottoms. Yeah. And then we'll make another group for this. Yeah. So this way, if we are supposed to select this, or we can directly just select this and align both of them together. Yeah. Let's just increase the text size of profile. Let's take it as 24. or maybe a slightly lesser 120. Yeah. And we'll make it center line. Never mind. Yeah. So next we're going to be making the bottom navigation bar. So yeah, let's take a rectangular box again over here. Let's increase the height to 60. 60. And then we'll align it with the page. Yeah, these orange lines help us with that. Next, we're gonna choose a color. So let's take it as the same one which we took over here. Yeah. So over here, we're gonna be adding four different pages: home, wallet, track, and profile. So first of all, we'll make another group for this group selection, and this comes in another group. And next, we're gonna be adding icons. The first one being home, so let's add a home icon. We'll search home over here, and yeah, we'll take this one. Let's let this be, no, we'll take a frame one, not a fully colored one, and let's just take this as white, plain white. But we don't usually use plain white while designing, so we'll take a slightly grayer side, which is this one. Yeah. And then we'll import it as a frame again. So we've gotten it in our UI. Yeah. With a height of 24 and 24, let's move it to the side. And a bit on top. And then we're gonna be writing a text called home. That should be, yeah. And then we'll decrease its size to around 12. Yeah. And then we're going to put it on auto width and auto height. And now we're gonna move this below the icon. Yeah, and now we're gonna group the icon and this together. So yeah, we'll tuck it over here, and then we're gonna use group selection, and let's just add it in the group. Yeah. So now we can move the entire group together. Either you can make it into groups, or you can use the shift key to select multiple stuff together. Yeah. So first we'll zoom in and we'll make this proper. Home should be aligned correctly. Yeah. So yeah, now we can move this together. Um, let's put it over here for now. Yeah. Next, we'll add the icon for a wallet. Um, so we'll open this. We'll search for wallet. Our next icon, wallet. Yeah. So let's take this one. The color is the same, and we're gonna import it as a frame. Um, yeah, we have gotten it over here. We'll align it almost on the same level. Yeah. And next we'll add a text box below this saying wallet. Mhm. Size 12, auto width, auto height. Yeah. And we'll bring wallet inside group 3. And we'll again make a group out of this. Group selection. Yeah, and we'll bring wallet in here so that we can choose the group together. Yeah. So now we'll move the wallet thing directly under this. Hmm, Slightly towards the right. Yeah. And now the gap, we'll move this over here. Yeah. And we'll move wallet a bit up so that it matches with home. Yeah. And next, we're gonna be adding a next icon, which is track. So we'll select group 3 and then we'll search Iconify. And we're gonna be searching for track icon or something like a car. Um, track. Let's just use this one. Yeah. Let's import this as a frame. So it has been imported. Yeah. Now we'll move this on the same level as the others. Yeah. And now we're going to be adding a text box under it which says track, TRACK, auto width, auto height, and then we'll move this directly under this. Yeah. So we'll make track and this also into a group. Group selection, we'll bring track also in there. And then we'll move the group. We'll move the track a bit upwards. Yeah. So we'll move to the next icon, which is a profile in this case. Just give me a minute, I'll check the size. Yeah, this is 24. Yeah. So next we are gonna be adding the profile. So let's look up profile. File. Yeah. So let's use this one. Import as frame. Yeah. We'll move it in here. Let's, yeah. We'll make the size a slightly bit lesser. Just match the size from here. Yeah. So this works. And we're gonna add a text box. Let's write profile, auto width, and now we'll align it directly under. First of all, we'll create a group selection, and we'll add this too in it. Yeah, so let's just, yeah. And now we'll move this a bit this side. We move this a bit more. Since this profile has not been aligned properly, let's align it properly. Yeah. So let's move this a bit more. Just a minute, I'll increase. Yeah, now it has been aligned properly. Yeah, so now we have selected the profile page. So let's just change the color of the profile so that it looks that we have selected it. So um let's change the color. So yeah, let's change the color to 0560FA, as well as this icon color to 0560FA. Yeah. And now we'll add a small rectangular on the top. Yeah. And we'll fill this also to 0560FA. We'll move this rectangle to the profile group, which is group 7. So let's move it in there. And now we'll have to line it properly. Let's decrease the height a bit to 2 at least. Yeah. Yeah. So now we're done with our bottom navigation bar. And next, we're gonna move on to further elements. So let's create a profile icon or a circle over here. Yeah, ellipse. You use the shift button. If you keep pressing the shift button, you get a perfect circle. Yeah. So we'll just close this off. So yeah. So we'll change the circle dimensions to 60 and 60. Yeah. And next we'll add a text box next to it, writing the name of the person. Let's take it as Priyanshi, Prasad. Yeah. And we'll change the size to 16. We'll make it auto width and auto height. And then let's take it as a bit bold or semi bold in this case, since it's the name. Yeah. So yeah, let's make this into a group selection. And then we'll add an ellipse also in the group. Yeah. Let's move the circle a bit to the side and the name a bit to the top. We can give a subscript, also a subtitle kind of thing at the bottom of this. Yeah. For example, let it be a banking app, so we can write current balance, and then we can write 60,000 or something like that. And we can increase the size of this, yeah. And we'll change this to a regular font, and we'll decrease the size to 10, 14, or maybe 13 in this case. Let's take it as 13. Yeah. And we can change the color of a particular part. Let's take it as this. Yeah. And we'll put this also in the group. And then we're gonna move this a bit upwards. We can increase up the size of this a bit. If you press shift, it makes it into a proper circle. Give me a minute. Change this to 65. Yeah. Move this a bit more up. And this also a bit more up. Over here, you can add a picture. Any picture you have with you, or the profile picture of the person. And next, moving on, we'll be adding a few more elements at the bottom. So let's make a rectangle for that rectangle. Let's take the sizes 342 and 62. We'll center line it. Yeah. And now in this, we'll add multiple stuff like, let's take the first one as edit profile. First, we'll change the color of this rectangle. Let's change it. Let's take it as this itself, or maybe this, yeah. And we'll add an icon, profile. Let's take this one. We'll import it as a frame. Now it has been imported. We'll move it inside the rectangle. Wait, let's take this as a different color for now so that we can differentiate and spot stuff easily. Yeah. We'll make this also into a group. So group selection, and we'll add the rectangle. Rectangle should be at the bottom, else this happens. Yeah, so we'll put this icon over here. We'll increase the size to around 30. Yeah. And next we're gonna write, we'll add a text box over here. This will say edit profile. Auto width. And we're gonna give it a subtitle, a sub thing also, which is gonna say name, phone number, address, address, email ID, dot dot dot. We're gonna increase the width of this. Yeah. We're also gonna make this a bit smaller. Let's make it as 11. And we'll make it a bit light. Yeah. And now we'll align it. We can change the color too. Since this is E6, 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 we'll change this also to E6, 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 and this one also to E6, E6, E6. And we'll make this edit profile a bit bold or medium. Yeah. And now we're gonna add an icon over here, a right arrow. So we'll again go to plugins and we'll search right arrow. Let's just take this one. import as frame. It has been imported. First of all, we'll group all of this. We'll put it on this in the same group. Yeah. And now we'll shift this towards here. And we can make this a bit bigger. So let's change the size to around 27. Yeah. We can change the background color to background color of this entire rectangle. Yeah. So we'll change the color to this again. This, or we can take it as dark blue too. Similarly, we can make all the other things by just Control C, and then we'll paste it and we'll move it. Yeah, we press Alt and Shift so that it's aligned in the same manner. So we'll move it a bit down and then we'll again paste the same thing. And then we'll copy this thing again and we'll paste it here. And then we'll press Shift and Alt and again we'll move it. Yeah. Again copy, paste, Shift, Alt. Again we'll move it. Copy, paste, Shift, Alt. We'll move it. Copy, paste, Shift, Alt. We'll move it. Yeah. And now we can edit each and every one on its own. See, these are the advantages of making it into a group. If you wouldn't have made this into a group, you would have to make all of this individually over and over again. But now you can just easily change each and every icon and the text in it, and you won't have to align everything again. So let's take this one, group 12, and then we'll edit the text as um let's edit it as notification settings. Notification settings. And we'll change this to mute, unmute, set location, and tracking. Similarly, let's change this one to card and bank account settings. Card and bank account settings. We'll keep this as a capital A. And then we'll change this to change cards, delete, and edit card details. Next, we're gonna add one over here saying about us. Know more about us. Terms and conditions. Next, we're gonna change this one to referrals. Referrals. And we check number of friends. And similarly, we'll change this one to statements and reports. Statements and reports. And we'll change the subtext as download transaction details, orders, deliveries, and so on. Let's just keep it till orders and we'll put dot dot. Yeah. Now all we have to do is add a logout icon to logout. So we'll just copy this one is group 19, right? Let's just close all the groups first. Yeah. So group 19 we'll copy and then we'll paste it and then shift alt and then we move it down. We just have to change a bit in this. So yeah, we'll remove this about us and this also since logout doesn't need any context. And we'll remove the arrow too. We'll just write logout and this has to be bold or let's take it as medium. No, let's take it as bold itself. And we'll increase the size to 18. Yeah. And we'll change the color to red. Or let's just keep it as white and we'll change the icon color to red. So we'll remove this icon. We'll put logout in this group itself. And we'll move logout a bit towards, yeah, auto width and auto height. Yeah. And we're gonna add an icon for logging out. Logout. We'll take this one. Let's change the color to red. Um, so yeah, we'll change the color to red. Let's take the color as ED3A3A. Yeah. And we'll import this as a frame. So this comes over here. We'll increase the size to let's say 30. Move the logout text a bit up. And we can click shift and we can select multiple items at the same time. So let's select all of this and move it a bit upwards. Yeah. Wait, give me a minute. Yeah. Yeah, so we'll click shift and then we'll select all of this one by one. So all of this gets selected and then we'll move it a bit up. Yeah. And now we'll add another group over here saying enable dark mode. So we'll add a text box first, which says enable dark mode. Yeah. And we'll reduce the size first of all to let's say 13 or 15 sounds, yeah, 15 looks good. And we'll make it to a medium and auto width and auto height. Yeah. So we'll move this a bit down. Yeah. And now we're gonna add a toggle button icon. A toggle button or something like a button. Let's just see. Yeah, let's add this one. The color, let's take the color as white itself, white or a slightly grayish white, and we'll import it. And then we're gonna move it upwards and we'll increase the size to, let's say, 25. And we'll make this into a group. So group selection, and we're gonna put this also in it. Yeah. Let's just see if they are aligned properly. We'll move the enable dark mode text a bit to the left. Let's just change this color to something else. Let's change it to this. No, I think white looks better. Let's keep it at white itself then. So we have made the basic structure of a profile page. And now let's put in let's put in a profile icon over here. Alright, we forgot to change the icons of all of this. So let's just go and change the icons for each one of this. So this one's a profile, right? We'll remove the profile and we'll search for Iconify and we'll look for notification icon, notification. Yeah, let's just import this, import as a frame. And we were supposed to, let's move it here first of all. Which group is this? Group 12. So we move this to group 12. Yeah. And now we are gonna change the size. All of these sizes were around, let's just check, 13. So yeah, let's just change the size of this also to 30. And we're gonna move it up and a bit towards, yeah. So we have a 30. Next, card and bank account settings. So first we'll close this group. This one is group 14. We'll remove this icon. Card and bank account. Let's just search for card. Yeah, we've got a credit card. We'll just take this. Import as a import as a frame. My bad. Yeah. And we'll delete this thing. We change the size to 30. And then we're gonna move this over here. Yeah. And we'll just remove the profile. Wait. Yeah, we'll remove this profile. Now I've got into statements and reports. Let's look for report icon. Report. Yeah. Report something like this. Let's take this as 30. Import as frame. Group 16. So let's just move this to group 16. Yeah. And we'll put this over here. And we'll remove the profile icon from behind. Give me a minute. Wait, yeah. We'll move this a bit over here and we'll bring this out and then we remove the profile icon. And now referrals. Moving to referrals, let's search for referrals. Referral, refer. Yeah, let's take this one. Import as frame. This one is group 18. So yeah, we'll move this thing to group 18. And now we'll move this on top of this. So we know exact location of it and we move it out of that. We'll remove profile. Yeah. And now about us. So let's look for an icon about. Yeah, this one works. Import as frame. So we'll move this over here so that it aligns properly. And then we'll move this out of this. We'll remove this. Yeah. So we have this. And now we're gonna be adding a profile icon over here. Icon for now. Since we don't have a profile photo over there right now. So just we'll add this one. We'll change this to a grayish color. Yeah. And we'll import it as a frame. And we'll remove this one. We'll move this over here. Which group was this? Group 8. We'll move this in group 8. Yeah. And we'll increase the size. We'll increase the size a bit more. Yeah. We'll increase the grayness of the gray. Yeah. So yeah, we're done with the basics of a profile page. Yeah, so we're done with the basics of a profile page. And now we know how to construct a mobile UI with multiple elements. And we also know how to group them into groups or frames so that editing them makes it easier. And even or if we didn't make them into groups, we would have hundreds of elements over here. So at a point, it would get confusing. Next, there will be a video soon on prototyping, which will show you the UX part of the entire mobile application, web applications. So, yeah, thank you for listening. Bye bye.